You may have been led to believe that with age comes a natural decline, softer erections, diminished desire, and that familiar, quiet frustration greeting you every morning. But I'm here to tell you that assumption isn't just mistaken, it's dangerously misleading. Because in reality, countless men over 60 are silently struggling, not due to failure in their bodies, but because they were never shown one simple change they could make each morning to reignite the systems behind strong, lasting, natural erections. No pills, no awkward devices, no shame involved. I'm Dr. Edward Kara. For over 30 years, I've specialized in men's health, guiding men in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s as they rediscover the confidence, energy, and intimacy they once believed were gone for good. What I'm about to share isn't theoretical. It's a daily morning routine, one that works. Every morning, your body offers a brief window of opportunity to activate what I call your erection circuit. Most men miss this signal, but when you learn how to catch it, everything can change. In this video, I'll walk you through 3 highly effective morning habits, plus 1 bonus tip that can naturally jumpstart your testosterone, enhance circulation, and bring back firm, consistent erections. Implement even one of these, and your mornings and evenings might never look the same. Stick with me, because this may be the most overlooked but powerful routine you've never tried. Before we dive in, if you haven't yet, I'd recommend subscribing and turning on notifications. That way, you won't miss any future videos designed to help you feel more energized, confident, and in control. And if anything in this video resonates with you, please type 1 in the comments. If it doesn't, type 0. Your feedback helps me keep improving the content for you and other men like you. Before we break down the habits, it's essential to understand why your body may not be responding the way it used to. Because unless we first look beneath the surface at your blood flow, hormonal levels, and nervous system, no tip, no supplement, no routine will truly stick. Let's take a look at what's really changing inside your body after age 60, and why you still have the power to shift the momentum in your favor. Let me share something that many physicians don't. If you're over 60 and noticing softer erections or inconsistent performance, the root of the issue isn't just getting older. It's about what the years have quietly done to the internal systems that drive performance. I say this not from speculation, but from personal conversations with thousands of men who've shared the same quiet concern. Doc, the desire is still there, but my body just isn't keeping up. So, what's actually happening as we get older? The systems that once supported strong, healthy erections begin to shift. Testosterone, the key hormone behind male sexual function, starts to decline gradually. On average, it drops about 1% per year after the age of 30. That might not seem like much, but over time, the impact builds. Lower testosterone leads to decreased libido, softer erections, and longer recovery times. But testosterone is only part of the picture. Your circulation plays just as vital a role. Erections rely on healthy, responsive blood vessels. By the time many men reach their 60s, the tiny arteries that supply blood to the penis, the ones that fill it during arousal, have become narrower, less flexible, and slower to respond. These shifts are subtle. You don't feel them happening day by day, but eventually, you notice the difference. You're not waking up with morning wood like you used to. It takes longer to feel aroused, or maybe firmness just isn't what it once was. Add to this mix years of accumulated stress, inconsistent sleep, and reduced nerve sensitivity, and you've got a body that still wants to perform, but isn't getting the right cues or support it needs to respond fully. But here's the encouraging part. These systems aren't broken. They're just underused. And when you start stimulating them again gently and naturally, right at the start of your day, you can bring them back online. That's where real change begins. You don't need to fight your biology. You just need to learn how to work with it. And it all starts with one of the most underestimated, yet powerful natural triggers for testosterone in circulation. Something that shows up every morning, just like you used to. Want to know what it is? Let's talk about the first habit you can start using as soon as tomorrow. And surprisingly, it's as simple as stepping into morning sunlight. I know it might sound too easy, but after over 30 years working with men, I can assure you what you do in the first 15 minutes after waking can set the pace for your entire hormonal and energy system for the day. Here's how it works. Your body runs on a built-in schedule, your circadian rhythm, which regulates everything from your sleep-wake cycle to testosterone output. And this rhythm is guided by light, more specifically, the natural light of early morning. When you go outside and allow sunlight to touch your skin and eyes, it sends a signal to your brain that it's time to activate. That signal goes straight to your hypothalamus, which then gets to work producing key hormones, including testosterone. The morning sun acts like a gentle alarm clock for your body, signaling it's time to activate. When you expose yourself to that light shortly after waking, you're not just boosting testosterone levels, you're also sparking the production of nitric oxide, a vital compound that helps blood vessels relax and expand, especially in the areas where it matters most. I've had older clients tell me they hadn't felt a spontaneous erection in years, but after simply stepping outside for 10 minutes of morning light coffee in hand, sun on their face, something shifted. Within a couple of weeks, they were waking up firmer, more often, and feeling more like themselves. This isn't wishful thinking, it's biology at work. And the best part? It doesn't cost a thing. This habit is most effective within the first 30 minutes after waking. Even if the sky is overcast, the light is still strong enough to make an impact. You don't need to stare into the sun, just step outside or stand by a window. Your body will take it from there. Of course, sunlight is just one part of the bigger picture. Even if your hormone levels improve and your circulation gets stronger, there's another internal system that has to be on board or everything else falls flat. And that system is your nervous system. It's rarely discussed, but it's crucial. Think of your nervous system as a control panel with two main switches. One says, I'm stressed, shut down everything non-essential. The other says, I feel calm and safe, let's allow connection and arousal. Erections only happen when that second switch is flipped. Here's where the challenge comes in. As we get older, particularly after 60, many of us operate in a near constant state of mild stress. It's not always obvious. It might be quiet worry over health, finances, or relationships, or just the background noise of everyday life. But it tells your body, this isn't the time for sex. This is the time to endure. That internal signal tightens your blood vessels, spikes cortisol levels, and blocks the very communication pathways needed for sexual response. Which is exactly why I recommend one of the most simple yet powerful tools to every man I work with: slow, deep belly breathing. It may sound too basic to matter, but done correctly, deep breathing resets your nervous system from survive to thrive. And it takes just 90 seconds. When you breathe steadily into your belly, not your chest, you activate your vagus nerve, the pathway between your mind and body. It slows your heart rate, opens up your vessels, and clears mental clutter. Men tell me all the time they feel their chest relax, their jaw unclench, and a sense of calm wash over them all from this one simple habit. Do this first thing after you wake up. Take 10 slow breaths in through your nose, out gently through your mouth. It soothes your system, eases tension, and invites connection, intimacy, and yes, stronger arousal. The goal isn't to force your body harder, it's to help it relax smarter. But easing your nervous system is only part of the story. Because even if your mind is ready and your blood is flowing, one small group of muscles could still be quietly interfering, and most men have never even heard of them. Let's address that now. What surprises many men is this: your ability to stay firm depends on a specific set of muscles, the pelvic floor. These muscles are hidden deep at the base of your core. Their job might sound simple, but it's vital. They control how blood enters and exits the penis during an erection. Think of them like a built-in pressure valve. When strong, they keep blood locked in, maintaining firmness. But as we age and move less, these muscles tend to weaken, which allows blood to slip out more easily along with your ability to stay hard. I once worked with a man named Edward, age 68. He came to me feeling ashamed and discouraged. I can start, he said, but I can't stay there. I lose it too quickly. What he didn't know, what most men never hear, is that this issue often links directly to the pelvic floor. Here's the great news. These muscles are very responsive to gentle, consistent training, and you don't need a gym, machines, or even to change your clothes. You just need to commit to a simple, daily practice. Every morning, while brushing your teeth or waiting for your coffee, gently contract the muscles you'd use to stop urinating. No one will notice you doing it, but you'll feel it. Done consistently, this tiny move leads to big changes. Firmer erections, better control, even more intense orgasms. For men like Edward, this one habit helped restore a level of confidence he thought was long gone. But we're not finished. While your body is waking up, your mind is calming, and your muscles are growing stronger. There's one final piece of the morning that can either build on everything or quietly sabotage it. And it starts with what you choose to eat. Let's talk about a kind of breakfast that nourishes your energy, supports your hormones, and enhances blood flow, all without turning to a pill. Now that your systems are activated and aligned, it's time to feed that momentum. The right morning meal can strengthen circulation, elevate testosterone, and keep your energy steady, while the wrong one can quietly work against all your progress. Most men don't realize just how much their breakfast choices impact their performance, not just in terms of physical energy, but also in blood circulation, testosterone balance, and overall sexual stamina. I've seen it time and again. Older clients starting their day with a slice of toast, sugary cereal, or just a strong cup of black coffee, and then wondering why they feel drained by midday, mentally foggy, or notice issues with performance below the belt. The truth is, your penis is a vascular organ, meaning it functions entirely through blood flow. And the health of your blood vessels is directly influenced by what you eat. I recall working with a gentleman named Harold, 72, who told me, "Doc, I never connected food with my erections. I thought it was all about desire." But once we shifted his breakfast to focus on foods that support nitric oxide and vascular health, everything changed, not just his mornings, but his self-confidence too. What worked for Harold and many others was a simple change in breakfast habits. He began focusing on foods that naturally enhance blood flow. Things like eggs, which are rich in choline and support testosterone, leafy greens and beets for boosting nitric oxide, and avocado, which helps maintain blood vessel elasticity. These aren't just nutritious choices, they're functional tools for restoring sexual health. You don't have to become a food fanatic or flip your entire diet overnight. What matters is intention, choosing meals that nourish your body rather than hold it back. When you fuel yourself the right way in the morning, you amplify the benefits of every other habit we've discussed. You reinforce your hormone production. You promote better circulation. You build true, lasting momentum. And over time, that momentum delivers real, visible changes not only in how you function, but in how you feel as a man. But all the morning sunshine, deep breathing, movement, and nutrition in the world won't change your life unless you follow through. Real transformation doesn't require complexity, it requires consistency. That's why the final piece of the puzzle is also the most important. Creating a rhythm that becomes second nature. The secret isn't just knowing what to do, it's turning those actions into habits so natural, you don't even think about them. If you've made it this far, you probably feel the pieces starting to click into place. But knowledge alone isn't enough. What truly matters is what you choose to do every morning, especially in those first few minutes when your day begins. I've seen men start with motivation, feel that early excitement, and then slowly fall back into old patterns. Not because they lacked willpower, but because they didn't have a system they could stick with. Let me be real with you. At this stage of life, simplicity is strength. You don't need a complicated plan, you need a morning rhythm your body and mind can rely on. So here's what I tell every man I work with. Build habits that fit right into your existing routine. While your coffee is brewing, step outside and get your sunlight. Before you scroll your phone, take a few grounding breaths. While you're brushing your teeth, engage your pelvic muscles. Then sit down to a breakfast designed to fuel your body and your day. Just imagine how different your mornings would feel if this became your new norm. You wouldn't be chasing after pills or waiting for something to kick in. You'd wake up knowing your body is responding because you've supported it with exactly what it needs to function, to connect, and to feel fully alive again. One of my clients, Frank, 74, once told me something I'll never forget. He said, "The best part isn't just having better erections, it's that I feel like myself again." And that's the real power of a steady routine. It gives you back your sense of control, your strength, your quiet confidence, and the dignity of knowing you're far from done. Now the next move is yours. You have the insights. You have a path. But before we close, there's one more thing. I want you to hear something I share with every man who walks through my door, especially the ones who think their time has passed. If you're still breathing, you're still capable. And what I'm about to say might change the way you look at the rest of your life. Because in truth, this journey isn't only about sex. It's about reclaiming a version of your life that you thought had quietly slipped away. You've just seen how a few simple morning habits can create an outsized impact. A few minutes of natural light to awaken your biology and boost testosterone. A few deep breaths to calm your nervous system and create mental readiness. A handful of pelvic squeezes to strengthen the muscles behind firmer erections. And a breakfast that nourishes blood flow, hormones, and long-term vitality. It might not sound revolutionary when listed out, but I've witnessed how powerful these small acts can be when practiced daily. I've seen men who were ready to give up rediscover themselves not just in bed, but in their energy, their posture, their presence, and their purpose. This isn't about trying to relive the past. It's about embracing who you are right now and recognizing that some of your most meaningful years could still be ahead. When you nurture the systems that fuel your masculinity, your hormones, your circulatory health, your nervous system, you give yourself permission to feel whole again. I'll never forget one patient's face after just 3 weeks of following this simple morning plan. He wasn't boasting, and he wasn't even talking about sex. He just looked at me and said, "Doc, I finally feel like myself again." That's what this is truly about. Men in your stage of life carry stories, strength, and wisdom that no younger man could replicate. But without the energy, the connection, the intimacy, life can begin to feel smaller and more limited than it should. This routine isn't just about physical transformation. It's about unlocking new energy emotionally, spiritually, and in your relationships. It's about starting your day with purpose and strength, rather than fading quietly into the background. And if no one has said it to you lately, let me be the one. You are not too old, and it's absolutely not too late. A new morning is waiting, and this time, you won't just wake up. You'll rise with intention. Begin small. Begin today, and just wait to see how things begin to shift. If anything in this message resonated with you, if even one habit gave you clarity or a sense of hope, I'd be truly grateful if you gave this video a like. It helps more men, quietly searching like you, discover the answers they need. Share it with someone close, a friend, a brother, or anyone who could use a little lift. And don't hold back, drop a comment below. I read every single one. Your words might be exactly what another man needs to hear to feel a little less alone. If you'd like to support this space and help me continue creating practical, empowering content for older men, consider making a small contribution. It helps cover the cost of production and keeps this space honest, grounded, and free of hype. Thank you for showing up, for being here, and for taking your health and your life back into your own hands, one morning at a time.